When this assignment first came up, I thought of analyzing a space like Macy's, Panera, or the local library. These were familiar places to me and seemed like an easy target for the project. But then after some thought, I decided an unfamiliar place would be best. When exploring something unfamiliar, one's senses are heightened and the small details stand out. I was somewhat lost on how to pick a location to analyze. I wanted somewhere unique to Atlanta, yet I could get access to. So I went to my mom. My mom, who is a property manager of many Atlanta condominiums and apartments, immediately rattled off a long list of properties that I could choose from. I discussed the assignment details with her and told her to narrow it down to a building that has one room that particularly stands out. She told me of 05 Buckhead high-rise apartments. This building was luxurious and well-designed with a professional environment. It was the first of its kind in Atlanta with a beautiful rooftop getaway. I chose to do the rooftop for my analysis and moved on to the next step, research. To prepare myself to visit the property, I hit the web and did some research on 05. I read up on a few of their policies, resident requirements, and lifestyle services. Next, I planned a time to come in with my mom to learn the proper place to park, enter, and so on. We went Saturday when the building was quiet. First, we stopped by the front desk to talk to the concierge, who informed me a lot on the area around the building. I noted what Wendell had to say before continuing on to the rooftop of 05 Buckhead. Walking out of the elevator into the club room, I was amazed by the beauty. I immediately noted the tone, mood, colors, quality of the furniture, and so on. After about 10 minutes of taking notes, I decided I felt like I had enough information. The next morning, I looked at my notes and tried to tie everything together. It was clear that my initial impression of a quality professional building was correct, but I needed something that stood out as a key component to why this building was set up to provide such a luxurious lifestyle. I was lacking what I needed to prove why, and this is what brought me to my thesis statement. Going in at first helped me recognize what I needed to focus on. It showed me that I needed multiple perspectives to analyze a space. I needed to analyze the space with my personal perspective, one of a future resident, and through interviewing with staffing. My problems were resolved with a second and third visit to this space, where I talked to the concierge more and interviewed property manager Cicely Anderson. On my second visit, I really wanted to understand why providing such a luxury lifestyle was important to the residents. I talked to the concierge first and asked them what type of residents were at 05 Buckhead. He told me that the Atlanta Financial Center was just around the block and provided a large number of the professional clientele. I had told him about my planned interview with Miss Anderson, so he told me that she could provide more specific details on the demographics of the building later. We continued on and he told me a number of the concierge services offered and pointed out that a lot of business people work here or live here, and to have these services at easy access is very necessary for them whenever they bring their clients in. After some more conversation, he escorted me back up to the rooftop. This time I observed residents using the outdoor pool and working on their laptops in the clubroom. The second visit really helped me gather evidence of the importance of the rooftop space. After reviewing the information I now had, I realized the concierge had led me to my next questions for Miss Anderson. I asked her about the demographics of 05. She told me they had a large percent of professional residents, including doctors, lawyers, financial analysts, and so on. She explained that developers did extensive study on the demographics of the area in order to decide what type of product they wanted to build. She continued on to tell me that occupants' income started around $100,000 a year, and the majority of them were without children. She went on to tell me 05 Buckhead was the first of its kind in Atlanta. Till its creation, Atlanta had not embarked on creating luxury apartments. I finally had all the information I needed to compose an analysis to support my purpose, but it did not come easy. The analysis I did was on a space very different than the one I'm accustomed to. Instead of choosing a nearby restaurant or department store, I went somewhere totally new. I was tasked with gathering enough evidence to document why the space is set up the way it is, and to support why that's important. In order to do this, I had to learn to take a perspective different from my own. which required more visits and more interviews than I had originally planned. I learned to prepare a full analysis. I needed to revisit my initial impressions, to expand the original scope, and to consider multiple perspectives by visiting more than one occasion. I learned that starting early was a benefit and is necessary to allow the inevitable evolution of the analysis.